Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Tackman Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having a good start to your Sunday. Well, actually, it's 6:30 p.m., so hopefully it's not just a good start. But one of the things that we wanted to cover today is, of course, the top 10 cheap stocks that are going to be presented this upcoming week. If you guys haven't tuned on into one of our Sunday stock talks, it's pretty laid back. Whatever stock it is that you want me to break down, all we ask you to do is to share it in this little live chat. And with that being said, I can go ahead and take the time, break it down, give my 2 cents on it. And the goal throughout this video is, as I'm breaking down not just, as I'm breaking down not just your stock, but other people's top stock for the week. You don't have to agree with all of them. The goal is not to see value in each and every single one. But as we break down the number, the series of different stocks, for you to cherry pick the ones that make the most sense to you, set effective alerts, and follow up with it when it makes sense. So I'm not only going to be talking about the top 10 stocks that you guys see value in, but as you guys know, it's earnings season. A good example of this is a stock like Pinterest. Pinterest reported earnings last week where after it reported earnings, although it beat expectations, there was a big drop, right? So it pulled on back quite nicely. And because it pulled back so much, some people view it as a dip buy opportunity. So throughout this week, I'm going to be making a series of videos following up with the stocks that significantly drop. And also in this video, I'm going to be talking about different stocks that are reporting earnings, stocks like Lyft, stocks like Nikola, stocks like Roku, Uber, Etsy. All of those are reporting earnings this week. So make sure that if you're either a current investor for those stocks, you become aware of it, and or if you're someone that was looking forward to investing in these stocks, maybe if they pull on back, they can present an opportunity that wasn't previously there, right? So I'm going to say what's up to a couple people that are tuned on in. And I hope that throughout this video, again, you learned something new. If you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing as well. So what's going on, Acacia? What's going on? We got, is it Aaron? Self-Made Ken, what's up, what's up? We got Joe Phillips. What's the ticker call-out format? If you're part of LPP, you should know that. You could see Caleb posted it in the ticker call-out format. It's just to implement structure. What's going on, Caleb? Alex, Sander, what's up? What's going on, TC? Hasim, Josh, Endzone, Edgar, Mo, Fabian, Christian, Joe, Andrew, Emmanuel, Semsi, Edgar, Joe, Brian, Moko Man, what's up, what's up? Sebastian, Martine, Tyler, what's up? I really do appreciate you guys taking time out of your Sunday to join us. And I'm really looking forward to Monday at Market Open. Last week was quite interesting just with the overall performance of the market, and I'm sure it's something that a lot of you guys are looking forward to as well. So let's go ahead and not overcomplicate it. Today's video should be pretty short and sweet. Again, if you want me to break down your stock, just feel free to share it in the live chat, and we'll keep it that simple, right? All we ask you to do is be respectful to others. So, Caleb, I'm going to break down your stock because you're the first one to post it in the ticker call-out format. So, we got WBA. So, WBA right on over here. So, this is Walgreens. I don't see I see CVS as a stock that's going to be reporting earnings this upcoming week. I don't see it for Walgreens as of right now. So as of right now, based off previous highs, we were trading at $57. You guys can see previously getting rejected multiple times. So when people like to ask, when's an ideal time to sell? Well, based off previous price points, it tends to get rejected almost every single time before 57. We've recently pulled on back. The estimated line is descending. It's making lower highs and lower lows. I wouldn't view this as something that like, oh man, I need to buy into this right now. Why? Because the direction's not in my favor, right? It's not like this thing is pushing up consistently. If anything, it's doing quite the opposite. It's getting rejected, making lower highs, lower lows, and until proven otherwise, I already have my alert set right here. I wouldn't be super eager to get into something that's been selling off so consistently. So I like that you're paying attention to something that's cheap, But like we know, cheap doesn't mean that it has to reverse anytime soon. And that's kind of the difficult time or the difficult thing to understand sometimes when you're just getting started, is that a lot of people buy the dip, but it's not so much about just buying the dip, but making sure that when you're buying into it, it makes sense, right? When the actual direction is in your favor, when it's indicating signs of an uptrend, that's when you want to partake in the action, not so much of buying the dip on something and then just seeing it continue to dip. That's kind of one of the worst feelings, right? So those are my 2 cents on that. So we got Sundave, we got ticker symbol GoPro. Let's go ahead and break that one down. So GoPro trading on the NASDAQ, a lot of consolidation right around $10 a share. Previous resistance level, anything above $13, it tends to get rejected. We can see that pretty easily. So if you plan to buy here around $10, it makes sense on why you would potentially want to sell around, 12.30 plus, right? So let's see what that potential is. So from where it's consolidating right now to 12.40 in a perfect world, that's a little bit over 20%. So definitely it's not a perfect world. So we can't expect this thing to recover right away. But I see what you are looking at down here, right? Based off previous lows, again, we have a lot of consolidation. We have no true direction or confirmation of a reversal, but I see what you're looking at. I would really wait for, before you get in heavy into GoPro, I would really like to see a break above 1080, see proper indication of a reversal, and that can be as simple as setting an effective alert when it breaks above $11 a share, so you're alerted when it's actually indicating signs of an uptrend, so you can partake in that action if you still see value in it. So I appreciate you asking me to break that one down. So we got Tyler is at UPRO. Alrighty, so 10% annually. This is a leverage ETF that will grow 30% on average. Okay, so I like it. Overall, super bullish, very consistent. It tends to pull back from time to time, and because it's so bullish, that's the times that I feel like it would make the most sense. It looks like it just hit 180-day highs. Let me know if you agree, Tyler, but I would like to see UPRO pull on back to the SMA line, buy the dip, because it's so consistently, when it does dip, it tends to recover right away and exceed previous highs. So I think you're doing an amazing job focusing on an ETF that is bullish. The direction's in your favor, so it's so much easier to have a trade that plays out well. Now, the only thing that I would like to focus on is the opportunity. Is it a deal to buy at 121, or would it make more sense to wait for a pullback to actually buy the dip on it and then ride the reversal? A simple question to ask yourself. Again, timing is super important, right? Let's go ahead and break down Facebook. So Samuel, we got ticker symbol FB. FB pulling on back from highs of 377, pulling on back to about the SMA line. Again, an amazing job focusing on something that is so bullish. And a lot of people won't agree with this, and at the end of the day, right, you should never be here to convince other people to see eye to eye with you. There's nothing wrong, and this is one of the things that I've tried to share, especially with our Learn Plan Profit group, is in the stock market, there's so many different ways on how to do well and how to make money. When people think that there's only one way, it's like, let's just be open-minded, right? I know that a lot of people might find stocks like UPRO or like Facebook boring because they're so consistent. They don't offer huge margins, but sometimes you don't have to when you're just getting started, right? Why overcomplicate it? Why not build experience on something that has a proven track record and that, again, the direction is in your favor? Like we all know, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier when the direction is in your favor to make money or to have a successful trade, right? Instead of trying to buy the dip on everything. And this is something even with myself that I don't always just focus on stocks that are bullish, but more often than not, I know that my trades play out well when I do focus on something that is this consistent. Obviously, again, these don't tend to offer the biggest margins, but it's sometimes nice to have, a focus on these consistent stocks when they do pull on back, just like we're seeing right there, testing the SMA line. So you can take advantage of this dip buys and then ride the reversal. So this offers about 6% potential if it were to make a full reversal. As of right now, it's still trading below the EMA line. So if you view it as an opportunity, I'm all for it. Set an alert for the break below the SMA line. Patterns tend to repeat themselves, but they don't always have to, right? And then we can set an alert for the break above the EMA line. So again, I really do appreciate you asking me to break this one down, and it has done amazing. So this one had earnings on the 28th, so not surprised on that. I appreciate you guys being so patient with me. What's it called with these different stocks? So Dkng. So just a heads up, DraftKings has earnings this Friday. How many of you guys were aware of that? Dkng was a stock that I was paying attention to. Is actually due to either these Sunday stock talks or one of our Learn Plan Profit members brought it up to me. I used to trade DraftKings pretty often when it was very bullish like this, right? As of right now, let's be honest, DraftKings has kind of been pulling on back. So let's just make sure that we're aware of that the direction hasn't been the most consistent and it's been pulling back more than it's been recovering. So sometimes it's almost best to kind of like not try to partake in the action when you don't see it to be as clear as it used to be before, right? So again, DraftKings reports earnings on Friday, and we've seen a lot of these stocks report and exceed expectations when it comes down to earnings. But for some apparent reason, a lot of tech stocks, just due to COVID, they call them like COVID businesses, meaning that they like did exceptionally well during pandemic conditions, and as the world returns to normal, the demand levels, right, on social media accounts and stuff like that begin to kind of like peak, right? And then they begin to pull on back, and it's going to be difficult for them to continue that type of growth. As of right now, if that's something that you expect with DraftKings, it might be worth to kind of just follow up with it. You don't have to invest in it. You don't have to buy the dip on it. But I think it should be super interesting to see what it reports on Friday at market open, and to see if it pulls on back, because if it does, maybe it might be a stock worth following up with. Maybe you'll shoot up and it becomes overbought, and if you're already in it, then maybe you can lock in profits. But again, it should be able to share right here that it has earnings on the 6th of August, so let's make sure we take that into consideration. Here we go. So we got Joe posting it in the ticker call out format, and then what was it? My bad. Body. Let's go ahead and break it down. Oh shoot. I clicked on the wrong one. My bad. Here we go. So body as of right now, this thing has been all over the place. I don't know if this is the right ticker, but I can see that it pushed up to highs of $13.46. It pulled on back, pushed up. So this one's very volatile. Right off the bat, I can tell you just by looking at this, I personally would not trade it. I trade with a little bit more money. There's certain criteria that I want a stock to meet before I put my money into it, and this just wouldn't meet it. I don't like very inconsistent and volatile stocks if they're getting manipulated or whatever the case might be. I just find them a little bit more difficult to trade and of course to predict. But if that's your style, all power to you. As of right now, it does look a little bit more on the oversold side. Looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, I see why you're paying attention to it, but to keep it super simple, right? The only time that I see any of these stocks to be worth trading is when the direction's in your favor, right? They tend to rally for a short period of time. Take part of that rally if you want to, manage your risk, lock in profits, but when they pull on back, I just don't want to be holding overnight. I don't want to partake in any of that, as they come at a greater form of risk with, again, how volatile they are. So as of right now, I would just set an alert and follow up with it when it makes the most sense. Let me know what you think about that. We got here Goon 5.0 pins. So I made a video about Pinterest. How many of you guys, do you guys like those videos that I make? where I talk about. I know they're not for everyone, but I have a really big focus on trying to buy the dip on what I view as cheap stocks that report earnings. I know some people like to really just focus on stocks that push up and become overbought after earnings. But I kind of don't, because if I'm not already invested in those stocks, I don't benefit from that push. I just find it so much more attractive to talk about stocks that unfortunately pulled on back, but because I'm not invested in it, it presents a dip buy opportunity for myself if I choose to partake in it, right? So let me know if you guys would like me to continue to make them. I would love to continue to make 1 or 2 of those a week. I feel like I've been keeping them around 4 minutes long, and it's easy for me to film. I feel like it's easy for you guys to understand. So if you guys have any tips or suggestions on those videos, just let me know, and I would love to continue to make them for you. So, but yeah, Pinterest reported earnings. It acted as a negative catalyst. It's at previous support levels, right around $55 to $60. I would not encourage this for just anyone, right? If you think that this thing is only going to continue to drop, whatever the case might be, I would be very selective on when it is that you actually decide to buy the dip on this and then ride the overall reversal. Just like I talked about it with the BODY and the very volatile stocks, it is so much easier to make money in any stock when the direction is in your favor. So I decided to buy the dip when there's no confirmation of a reversal. That's risky. It's riskier, right? Or you can wait for it actually to begin to indicate signs of an uptrend. So I have all my alerts right here, right on the Webull platform. So if you want to wait for the break above $62 and you want to wait for proper indication of a reversal, I think that's amazing. I think that it's great to be conservative. I think it's great to allow that opportunity to present itself. And who cares if you don't maximize the margin? It just makes sure that the trades that you take advantage of make the most sense to you. So there's a lot of margin to work with if it simply just recovers to previous resistance levels. That's nearly about 28%. If it recovers to previous highs right around $80, that's 38%. And if it were to recover nearly to all-time highs, that's about 50%. I find that very attractive, but you definitely don't have to. Another stock that before I break down a stock for you guys. So, yeah, Baba reports earnings. When does it report earnings? It reports earnings on Tuesday pre-market. So, really quickly, one of the stocks that I want to talk about is Amazon. I don't know. I know I talked about it with the Learn Plan Profit group. A lot of people who are just getting started and maybe want an easier stock to trade that isn't super volatile. Amazon might be one of those. Amazon pulled on back. Amazon, one of the most valuable companies in the world, dropped 7.5% on Friday alone. And if you view this to be a dip buy opportunity, then great. If it were to make a recovery and recover to all-time highs, that's about 12%. Think about that. It's a blue chip stock. It's a consistent stock. If you don't think Amazon's going anywhere, right, anytime soon, then maybe this could be an opportunity to be able to buy the dip on it and then add more to it when it makes an overall reversal. So I just thought that it would have been a stock worth talking about. So just wanted to share that one with you guys. I'm going to run through these next couple of stocks a little bit quicker because you guys have a lot of great breakdowns that I want to get through. So let me go ahead and start. So SWI, right? So we got SWI right here. We got Baba. Let me go ahead and break that down. So SWI, here we go. Alrighty, so big dip buy opportunity. I see why you're talking about this. A lot of consolidation. First off, this has super low volume. Just because of that, I personally wouldn't trade it. I see why you're looking at it because it gapped down so much that it has a lot of gap up potential. I see that. I would set an alert if it begins to really aggressively push up. Great, partake in that action. Manage your risk, manage your position size, and lock in profits. I would not hold this overnight just because of how consistent. It's literally done nothing other than gap down. So I would just be more careful than I would hopeful on something like this. Alibaba has really been struggling since like that whole since it's been like under fire, right? From Jack Ma, which was its original founder and CEO, and just with everything that's going on with China as of right now, it's been acting as a negative catalyst. Alibaba has been making lower highs and lower lows. It previously used to trade nearly above $300 a share, and as of right now, we're trading at around under $200. So Alibaba reports earnings on Tuesday, pre-market hours. This is a stock that I'm really looking forward to on following up with. But again, direction is key. And direction for Alibaba has been very, very bearish for a period of time. So it wouldn't surprise me if it sells off. It wouldn't surprise me if it continues to sell off. It is much more difficult to make money. It's not impossible, but it's much more difficult to make money when the direction's not in your favor, meaning that it's selling off and consistently selling off. It's going to make sense to some people. It might not make sense to others. Please be selective and be selective with your position size if you do decide to buy the dip on it. So we got ticker symbol WIN as well from Sanders. So we just went through those three pretty quick. Let's go ahead and keep that going. So we got Wynn Resorts, really nice pullback, hitting lows of $97. You can see that it was previously trading at $140 a share, nearly $140, which is great, right? So I have my alert already set on this. I know we previously spoke about this stock. And let's see when it reports earnings. So this one reports earnings this upcoming week. So on the 4th. Do I have it here on my list? So I probably do have it on my list. I just can't see it right now. But it does report earnings on the 4th. I'm excited to follow up with it to see if that acts as a positive or a negative catalyst. And maybe we can make a little bit more of an informed decision depending on how it reacts to earnings. But yeah, I definitely see a lot of potential on the recovery from where it's at right now to previous highs, nearly 40%. If you look at where it's at right now and where it was when it was trading at 138. But again, direction is so important. We can't just buy the dip on it and think all of a sudden it's going to recover, right? Why didn't it do that last week or the week before that or the week before that? It's been bearish. It's been selling off. It's been consistently selling off. So we can't be surprised if it continues to sell off. So let's make sure that we just take note of that. All right, so we got ANVS, Javier, I appreciate that. We got Roku, ANVS. Alrighty, so huge dip buy opportunity here. Very low volume. This thing looks like it gets manipulated. You can tell just with these huge pushes and then these pullbacks. This just wouldn't be something that I would trade myself. But if you like these kind of stocks, then let's just talk about it. Yeah, it's very oversold, meaning that it's very cheap. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI. This means nothing if it continues to sell off. What's a simple thing that we can do? Set an alert. If it begins to indicate signs of a reversal and it begins to shoot up, you can partake in that. Lock in profits. I would not hold this overnight. I would manage my position size and manage my risk very nicely on this. So that's just my 2 cents on that. So we got SPCE and LMAT. All right, a lot of consolidation right around the SMA line, previous highs. Yeah, this one also has very low volume. I can just tell on the 4-hour time frame. Super low volume. This just wouldn't be something that I would trade, again, just due to the dollar amount that I work with. It wouldn't be something that I would personally trade with myself. You can see based off of current levels as of right now, based off of and into previous highs, that's about 17%. So I see why you're paying attention to it. You can set an alert for the break above the SMA line, and if it begins to indicate signs of reversal, then great, so be it. But until then, I wouldn't actually buy the dip on this as it can continue to sell off, and that would be a really tough position to be in. SPCE, it pulled on back ever since its launch into space. I don't understand why. It's just, again, actually not Blue Origin, but Amazon did the same after Jeff Bezos went into space with its Blue Origin, right? So pulling on back, a lot of consolidation right here. I have my alert set. I would like to follow up with SPCE. SPCE is great when the direction's in your favor, and it's horrible when it's not. It's that simple. So I don't like to overcomplicate things. I think it's the simple things in life that people tend to overcomplicate. I have my alert set up here for the break above, $33, $34. Once this actually begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, just like it has before, that's when I want to partake in that action. Until then, I wouldn't be the biggest fan in doing anything. So it does have earnings on the 5th of August. Make sure you take that into consideration as that can act as a further negative catalyst. So let's go ahead and follow up with it. So BT. All right, let's go ahead and break that down. Here we go. So very consistent descending pattern. I see why you're talking about it. It broke above the SMA line, which is something that it's previously been getting rejected at. Do I view BT to be a super cheap price right now? Heck no, right? Is it pushing up? Is it bullish? Yes, but it doesn't look like it lasts for a very long period of time. It looks like it tends to push and then sell right back off. Push, sell right back off. So when I see stocks like this, I think it's great when all of a sudden volume begins to pick up on it. So I would first look into what is causing so much attention and demand into BT. And if you can justify it and that momentum is still there, then yeah, I can see why you'll day trade it. This is not something that I would swing trade, especially at these higher levels. It wouldn't be a surprise if it pulls right on back and continues to sell off. So make sure you take that into consideration before holding. So CRSR, we're going through quite a bit, and I appreciate you guys being so patient with me. I hope that you guys are enjoying this live stream. So CRSR hitting highs of $43, quickly pulling on back. I like to keep it simple. This thing does have earnings coming up, and this earnings is going to be on, let me go ahead and double check here. So earnings on the 3rd, so that's actually going to be on Tuesday. So earnings on the 3rd of August, nice little pullback. Even based off previous patterns, I don't see anything crazy about CRSR. I can see it potentially return to $34 a share, where it tends to get rejected at multiple times. But again, this stock is not something that is consistently bullish. It doesn't always, recover. It's nice to see when it does shoot up, but it doesn't hold at these higher levels. So this is not a stock that I would want to invest in. This is potentially something that I would want to trade when the direction is in my favor. So let's go ahead and follow up with it after it reports earnings and see how it performs. So here we go. So we got ticker symbol box. All right, let's go ahead and break down about 2 or 3 more, and then we'll call it a live stream. How does that sound? So BOX hitting highs of $27, pulling on back, a lot of consolidation, sub SMA line. So again, SMA line as of right now is potentially acting as a resistance level. Let's keep it simple. Let's set an alert. If it breaks above that $24.75 resistance, then I would love to follow up with it if the opportunity presents itself. But if it gets rejected here and sells right back off, then guess what? By you staying patient and waiting for the opportunity to present itself, you just saved yourself a really bad entry where it just sold right back off, right? So it pays to be patient, especially in this market. All right, so we got U. All right, here we go. So nice little pullback, hitting lows of $5 a share, so $5.25 as of right now. SMA line now acting as a resistance level, a lot of consolidation. I see why you're paying attention to it based off of previous highs and where it's at right now, 39% potential. SMA line I would view as a resistance. I could easily see this thing continue to sell off just like it has before. So it's nice to see that it's pushing up right now. I would be surprised if it actually breaks above the SMA line. If it does, I'd love to follow up with it. I would love to follow up with it, but until then, again, I would rather be less hopeful and be more realistic. And based off of previous rejection levels and previous highs, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it just continues to sell off. So please make sure you take that into consideration. Let's go ahead and break down mRNA. Is that Moderna? mRNA. Don't they report earnings? Yep. Moderna reports earnings this week. Let's go ahead and see when that is. That's on the 5th of August. Let's make sure that we remember that. Moderna, as of right now, is super bullish, super overbought, and they're going to be reporting earnings this upcoming week. I would view this, if it acts as a further positive catalyst, then great, so be it. But the thing that I really like about when stocks are at all-time highs when they report earnings is not only do they have to report good earnings, but they have to for sure exceed expectations. If not, it could easily pull on back, which might be viewed as a dip buy opportunity for us because it's been so consistent and so bullish before. But as of right now, I'm just going to set an alert just in case it continues to rally. But I personally, and again, this is just my opinion, because it's so bullish, I just don't think it's worth buying Moderna at all-time highs, hoping that it just continues to shoot up, right? I would rather stay patient, and if it does shoot up, then I miss out on it, right? That's the worst that can happen. But guess what? I would hate to buy at all-time highs, and then it reports earnings, it drops, and then now I'm down, where I could have simply just waited and actually allowed that opportunity to present itself. I'd rather play it safe than sorry, pretty much just summarizing it for. So, yeah, you guys have a lot of good breakdowns. I'll do another one. I know I've gone through quite a bit as of right now, so I'll go ahead and break this one down as well. So again, with a really big focus on direction, this just would not be something that I would trade, right? Aggressively sold off, very oversold, very bearish, and yeah, it's getting rejected by the SMA line. It sold off quite a bit where I can see the potential of a reversal, but again, that's still pretty hopeful. So I would set an alert for the break above 750, right around that EMA line. If it actually begins to shoot up, then great. If you want to trade it, I just wouldn't hold something like this overnight that continuously sells off. And again, if you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, I'm sure you understand why it's super important to not hold a stock like that overnight. One of the last things that I want to share with you guys is, like you guys saw over the weekend, we are running a sale for Shop Tech Buds. The links are all down in the description. You guys can refresh your page if you don't see it. You don't have to buy anything, but if you did want to buy anything, the sale actually ends tonight. And literally, you can, if you buy anything on the site, if you buy absolutely anything on the site, just make sure you add your favorite flag to your cart, and at checkout, you'll get the flag for free. So it's just one flag. So let's say that you're like, hey man, I really like this mouse pad. You add the mouse pad, you add your favorite flag to your cart, and the flag will automatically be discounted for free. So no coupon needed. We're running a free flag sale with any purchase. If you wanted anything from, wow, I didn't know that we sold out already. So it looks like we sold out of the hoodies. We sold out of this t-shirt. We dropped this on Saturday, and I guess it's sold out in the first day. We don't restock any of our stuff when it comes down to apparel. So we have a tank top left if you guys want to look into that. One of the last things that I want to remind you is, if you guys simply want to connect with like-minded people and you're struggling to do so, we have a free Facebook group, and that's going to be that first link in the description. The last thing is, I trade live every single day, and if you want to be able to watch me trade live and you like the way that I trade, that's going to be that second link in the description. Do you need to sign up to Learn Plan Profit to be able to watch me trade live every day? Do you need to? Of course not. You don't need anything, right? I have over 2,000 videos on YouTube for a specific reason. But at the end of the day, right, if you need more assistance and you like the way that I trade and you want to be able to partake in that every single day, then again, I do invest my time to the Learn Plan Profit group every single day at market open, and I trade live with them, answering their questions and explaining my thought process on what it is that the market is presenting and the challenges as well. So if you want to join or learn a little bit more about it, click the second link in the description, and I would love to be able to work with you guys on a closer basis. Until then, I really do appreciate you guys' time. I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing, and like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.